Okay, back aboard Wanderer, which is what we're going to rename the boat from Just Van Dyke to. So she's going to be called Wanderer. We've been backwards and forwards on a few names, and that's the one we've settled on. So yeah, back aboard Wanderer. And first project I'm tackling, I'm here for a few days. I've got some time off work, which is great, so I can get a bit of a run on things. But tackling the hatch issue. So I don't know if you can see outside that window, there is the old polycarbonate hatch, which is actually the replacement for the original hatch. I might overlay a little picture of what that looked like, which was an aluminium framed Houdini hatch. Nice, but a bit like a jail cell because it had the metal bars over the top. And importantly, it leaked. It didn't seal. So we have, this is a soft hatch for engine in and engine out, which is a nice feature to have, and obviously it needs something in it, and a hatch is really good to have. So we did take off the old Houdini hatch and put on the polycarbonate, which was all right for a bit, but two things. One, we really suffered with the lack of ventilation. So even with the opening forward window and the door behind, there just wasn't enough getting in. So we have put the big Vetus vents in now, which do make a difference, but still we wanted an opening hatch here. Second, the UV. So even with film on that, which to be honest wasn't very good, was still a bit bright. So I wanted to get something a bit tinted. So this is what we found. So I've picked up this Vetus Magnus hatch, which is, to be honest, really nice. Big. It's bigger than your average 4 hatch size, which is what, 500 by 500, so it's 650 by 650 more or less, which, as you can see, just about fits in the opening lengthways. By luck, not by design. I was expecting to have to do a lot more work to get this to fit. So I'm just working out now what to do around the rest of it, so to make the framing to fill in the gap, so that everything I fit here has to be able to be removed. So it can't be permanently bonded in, because I do have an engine to lift in here at some point, so that's going to be a slightly critical piece of the puzzle. And the second is, if we ever have to do an engine change or an engine removal, or anyone does in the future, the soft hatch needs to be able to come out. So we've got to be able to, it's got to seal well but be removable ultimately. I don't mind if it's removable with a bit of faff and hassle, but it has to be able to come out at some point. We won't be putting the engine in until next summer, so I'm not too fussed on that, until next year, but I'm not too fussed. So yeah, it's a really nice big secure hatch. Let's go up on deck and we can see what it looks like up there. So that's so far what it looks like. I have taken off the old wooden hatch surround, which went all around here. I mean, this is where most of the leaks were, from this corner, and I need to go inside and see if there's any core issues. Probably will be. I found loads of little core issues on this boat I'm working through, and then yeah, it's a case of working out the framing. I've got this nice Iroko, you can see, which I've cut down, and then I'll do something with the framing there to get that in place. So yeah, that's the plan for the first few days. Down here in the cockpit, excuse all these are all the rigging I've got to take back, but this frame is the wooden surround that was in there, and that just takes out the curve in the deck to a flat top. So I have to remake, I don't know if you can just see under there, so I have to remake a fill-in piece for that. I'm going to try and get the hatch a bit lower, as low to the deck as it can go. And then what I'll probably do on the sides, each of those little sides where there's a gap there, is that will, once I've got it framed out, we'll just have an Iroko pad over it. So that'll look nice. I mean, there's splashes of teak on the boat. You can see the Iroko handrails and so on and so forth. So once it weathers down, it'll look the same. But importantly, that's a big hatch right under the boom, and you're going to be working there when we do sail handling, so reefing or hoisting and lowering the main. So having a bit of a Iroko pad each side will give us something that's a bit non-slip as well. Otherwise it's a big area, include the hatch and then drop down to that area that is can be quite slippy when wet. And there's a raised fiberglass moulding all the way around, so you know, I think having a differentiator piece in a different colour as well will also draw your eye to it. There's enough bits to trip on up there as well, with the mushroom vents, the hatch, that lip, the handle. So yeah, anything that can really help you when you need it in a hurry will be fine. We're going to paint this, as I'm going to remove the treadmaster, and then I am going to paint all of the deck as well. So that's you know, going to put non-slip paint up here is the plan, because that honestly, I'm not a huge fan of treadmaster. Yes, it works very well, but it's bloody uncomfortable to sit on or kneel on. So yeah, for me, a softer texture. We've got dogs as well, and we want to lie out and lounge out as well. And the other added aspect is I'm going to have solar panels up here, so paint is much better to stick the solar panels to. So it may end up being just a completely smooth paint, and it might be a little bit not fussed what it comes out with, just be a hard wearing white, because gonna get solar panel down there, one across the back, across there, and one across the front as well. So it will be yeah, it'll be, you know, we've got to put a lot of solar panels. We've got this nice area, and I know it's going to be subject to some shading and blah 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 blah. I get that, okay, but I'm going to have some solar panels up there so that we get some solar all the time. How I'll do that, coming onto solar rather than the hatch, but they will be split out in parallel with different MPPTs. So if one side is getting shaded, the other side will produce, and so on and so forth. So whatever, yeah, we'll do solar another day. And I've got real estate around the back to put more solar on as well, if I so choose to do so. Yeah, okay, more videos to come through the week. So the hatch work continues. I think I've got the layout about summed up now. I'm trying to keep this out of the sun. You can see there's been some more removal work inside. So the wooden frame that went around the edge on the outside that was there prior was leaking. You know, I don't know how many times I've said this and found this on this boat, but I wish people would stop using silicone, and I think I'm coming to a very I'll say it honestly, there's a special place in hell reserved for those who use silicone to put down fittings on boats, because it just doesn't last. And then when it doesn't last, it just ruins things and creates a load of work. So hey ho, give them the benefit of the doubt. It was done a long time ago. They probably didn't know better. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself. Stay positive. But yeah, the so this frame around here has hardwood, so things can screw into it, obviously, or as wood, not hardwood, has softwood. Again, a feature on this boat quite a lot. But where that had leaked, you can see, I mean, probably this piece is easier to see. You can see it's just saturated with water, and this is how it's come out. So it's just taken, and there's a mess on the floor, look, from just where I finished, but a lot of just cutting away the fiberglass layer, this bit, the strip, and then hammering and chiseling out the wooden strip, and then cleaning and reefing out the joint. So yeah, that'll get a sand. Luckily it's not gone past the end here, and it's not gone past this point here. So I nerd, but I really don't want to be replacing the whole lot just for the sake of it. I'll just bed it down better next time. So yeah, it's just that port side that needs doing. But yeah, that's next job is to get the sander out in a bit and make some dusty dust. Okay, so a lot of work for what doesn't look like much, but as you can see, this is the side deck, and I have had to take it off because I didn't get any, unfortunately I haven't got anything to show, but just like the bit inside, it's saturated. Yet more silicone. So all these holes, that was the Genoa track, which is all the way up there, you can just see, and yeah, bedded down with silicone. And then yeah, guess what happened? It leaked. Everything's bad. And you can see that, interestingly, that there is the ply. So you can see just to the left of it, that's balsa core, which is what the boat is, set for this piece of ply. But if you look closely, see where that hole is, the Genoa track was not on the plywood all the way through. When it got to here, it was down into the balsa. So even worse, we've got wet balsa. Well, that's where the water got in and attacked the balsa. The main, I think it would have been it had half a chance. I mean, the ply was rotting out as well and delaminated, so it was damaged, but the balsa was completely saturated all the way to the outboard edge. So you can see, get my fingers right under there. So I'm going to put new ply in throughout. So I've got pieces cut here, which I'm going to just rough cut for now. I'm going to get them settled in, bed them down, and then I'll do a couple of fiberglass repairs underneath where I need it, but then a new skin on top, and then just some paint. So yeah, if I go over to the other side, you can see what it looked like before. So it's been a long day of removing the treadmaster, removing the track, and then getting the core out, which is an absolute nightmare, and then grinding it all back and then cutting the blanks. But let's scan around, pop over here, don't mind everything that's in the way. So you can see this is the previous side. So there's the track, runs there on a bit of an angle, and then that was it'll be the same this side, where it won't be in the plywood fully, so I'm going to have to do the same on this side as well. But it is I need to remove all the deck hardware up there to do that, so it's all saturated underneath as well. Underneath the stanchion posts will be wet because it's obviously at an angle, so the water that gets in tracks outboard. It's actually drier in towards the coach roof than it is out. It's wet throughout, but it's much wetter there. You know, you can see when you poke a screwdriver in to pry it out, it just leaks like a sponge. So yeah, a lot of work to do there, a lot of work to do everywhere. So just keep going, plugging away at it. Once this is done, I think that's the worst bit of deck I've got. Definitely, it's the bit I'm having to do from the top, because doing the side decks from underneath it would be an absolute mission, and not, well, even removing it would be a nightmare. It's difficult enough as it was, just hours. And you saw the tools over there, so just hours and hours with a multi-tool, pry bar, grinder, spelt sander, and angle grinder, just to get everything to where it is there. So yeah, it's a big job, but that's what we got to do. And there's the hatch, and then this bit. It's been a lot of work today. It's a right mess inside. Let me come down, because I have done some other bits as well. So one of the first little bits is the first little bit of replacement up there is there. So that's PET foam I'm using, bonded in with bonding paste. That's really nice because it works really well overhead. It doesn't sag at all. And then I'll just put one layer of matte over that tomorrow. It doesn't need much. It's not very structural there, to be honest. The bonding paste and the foam will be more than strong enough for that. So I'm not worried about it at all. It's actually quite strong without anything in. So belt and braces gives the screw something to go into. Yeah, one layer of matte just to finish it off inside and make a nice little laminate structure. I've redone the fuse panel, not the electrical panel, but the fuse panels, just all the mounting, reconfigured things, made it a little bit more space and neatened it up. So reasonably pleased with that. And I've reconfigured some of the wiring to give myself one less switch panel. I felt, you know, we had everything on switches and it was one less. I'll do a separate video on that. This one I think is worth going into in a little bit more detail. So yeah, that was one of the other jobs today. What else? I think that's about it. How you might be able to see forward of the solar panel, just there is another deck fitting that came out, and guess what it was bedded in with? Yeah, you didn't need three guesses. Silicone, that's right. So yeah, core removal going to be needed there. I'm going to do that one from the inside. It's the same as I had to do on the other side for the heads. So it is what it is. I've got two small bits of core to do from the inside. The one where the main D1 lowers are there, and then that one now with the forward lower. So, and then these ones, these lowers, which are just down there, will get done when I do the replacement there. All right, loads of bits and pieces, and believe it or not, I've been tidying as I went, but it's just a mess in here today. This happens when you're doing 3 or 4 jobs on the go. All right, laters. Well, I've been defeated. I failed to get any video of what was going on, and also I failed to finish on time. So as you can kind of see, and I'm not very proud of this job either, but replacing the side deck coring has been an absolute nightmare. It's fought me for 3 days solid. Just a bitch to remove. Sorry, very difficult to remove. Really difficult to come out. Completely saturated bolts and delaminated ply, but ironically stuck to the cores each side, so no strength in the middle, but so difficult to remove. So chiseling off the top layer of fiberglass, I was hoping to be able to get that off and salvage it, but no go. And then here I had some trouble with enough wood and the right wood, so I've had to put it in blocking, which isn't ideal, but you know, that's one thing. And then the second piece forward is one solid piece, which is all right, but then I ran out of resin, so I can't finish the top today. So what I'm having to do is just paint it to get it watertight, and then I'll come back and attack it another day. So it is what it is for now. It's done. But I got the hatch back down just for now, which is fine. That's good. And then yeah, this hatch will come home with me, so I can template out, and there's all the wood for that. So get that made. This had done something, but yeah. Right, time to pack up and go. I'm running late, but yeah, not a great week on the boat. It's been done a lot, but I haven't done a lot, if you know what I mean. All right, talk later.